Okay, good morning, Tito Hidalgo in Ecuador. Good morning, Raj in Canada. Good morning, Emily Macias in Mexico. Roxy and Marlene in Lima, Peru. And Irma in Ecuador too. And good morning, everyone in Facebook Live. Today is the 22nd of November. And this is our 32nd International English Online Meeting. 30 seconds. So that means we've been on air for about 7 months and we are about to finish in December. Hey, finally, you will be able.
Just a break, just a break.
Break,
you,
that's
will,
right.
you will be able to sleep longer in bed. You will be able to have a good breakfast. And it's always good to have a break. So let me show you my screen and some info. Anybody who wants to read the first idea, the first thought about being grateful? Anybody who wants to read?
And then I think.
Be grateful for all the obstacles in your life. They have strengthened you as you continue with your journey.
By the way, have you had any obstacle this week, this month? Anybody? Yeah, every day we have obstacles.
Stuff,
Yeah, the problem is that some of them are little, some of them are big, and okay. And the next one, please, anybody else? Yeah, Tito.
We are quick to notice what others have that we do not have, but we don't realize how much we have that they do not have. Be grateful.
Yeah, agree or disagree?
100% agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yes. So let's not pay attention to what other people have, but what we have. Okay. So next Sunday, we will finish November presentations with Monica Rosas, a young teacher from Mexico. She will be talking about the language classroom as a tool to boost human potential. And then in December, we will have Glenda Gallardo from Lima, Peru. I don't know if she's from Lima. Marlene? Glenda is from Lima?
I think she's from Lima, but her parents are from Arequipa or so.
Ah, so she's an international guest speaker. No, you don't know that Arequipa is one of the most important cities in Peru, but they are so proud about themselves. They are so that they have their own passport. They have
Yes.
they have
The own
their
currency, the own currency as well.
Okay, and she will be talking about this important topic, Blackboard tools and activities to teach English. And then finally, we will have Eugenia de Loza from Argentina talking about what teachers learned to master during the pandemic and will definitely clean to. What does clean to mean? Anybody knows?
Like attached, connected.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And to finish up with these presentations, we will have this amazing, incredible, wonderful event for Peruvian teachers. But you are also invited if you want to attend and listen and participate. We will be talking about professionalizing English language teaching in Peru. And 6 of my good friends from Peru will be this: Karina Garcia from Iquitos, Isabel Tapja from Lima, Leticia Zabaleta from Cajamarca, the beautiful city of Cajamarca, Enrique Liñán from Trujillo, Julio Valladares from Piura, my city, my hometown, and Arturo Field, just like the cookies, Arturo Field
Yes.
from Lima. So we will be talking, discussing, reflecting, and thinking about professionalization in English language teaching. Well, and I don't remember when and where, Tito, I met you. Do you remember when and where I met you?
I think we must have met in one of the international congresses here in Guayaquil.
I guess. Well,
Uh-huh.
this
And,
beautiful
and
conference,
and
do
then
you
I went
remember?
to Peru. Then I went to Peru. Then we saw each other again here in Quito. No, that was Ibarra. Right? Yes.
Yeah, this beautiful city of Ibarra. Look at the city at the back. Wow.
Oh
Beautiful
yes.
city, 2 hours away from Quito, the city capital. Okay, and so here we have Tito Hidalgo from Ecuador. Let me say a few words about Tito. Correct me if I make a mistake in pronunciation or something like that, Tito. Tito Hidalgo holds an MA in Knowledge Management and Human Talent from University Europea del Atlántico. He participated in ESPOL's MATEFL and attained his BA in TEFL at Universidad Particular de Loja, the beautiful city of Loja. With more than 25 years in the ELT field, he has contributed on different fronts, from academic consultant for English programs in multiple institutions in Ecuador, administrator and trainer for international tests such as TOEFL, IBT, GRE, IBT, PTE G, ITEP. You should give a talk about that, please. And has been a speaker at many academic events all over Ecuador. Today, Tito Rafael Hidalgo is one of the directors of the World English Institute, EC, a private institution dedicated to individuals' professional development. He's a registered translator with the Justice Department and is an active member of TESOL, and he's co-founder of ECUATESOL. So welcome, Tito. Let's give him a warm round of virtual applauses. And the screen is all yours.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's great to see your faces every Sunday and have an opportunity to share. Um, Let me go ahead and share
Please.
my screen. Yes.
Hello, Ruben Garcia.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning.
Here we go.
Okay,
Okay.
go.
Okay, thanks again. And let's go ahead and start. Today is the 32nd International English Online Meeting, and it's my turn. You have contributed to this community with great topics, and I'm very not only glad, happy to have participated in each of them. There have been more than focusing on technical issues or knowledge. You have shared many other topics that contribute to what it is called, or what I consider called, soft skills. Just to mention a few, I remember the Monica Rodriguez with Effective Classroom, Raj and Mary's Call, Love and Compassion. I remember Elizabeth with Teaching for Peace. And so all of these topics contribute to that part of us that keep us going, that drives us. And so that's the reason why working for a while with teachers and human beings, of course, it came me to think that just to have plenty of knowledge about what you do is not enough, but that there's another part of us that really keeps us going. And that's the reason why my proposal is to present this topic to open door to understanding about soft skills and why they are important in the new normal. The new normal is going around as trying to describe a situation where things are more of difficult, but it all depends on what definition or what meaning we give to it. I know there's a lot of uncertainty about the context. Some people find themselves in a revolving door, just going around and maybe thinking the outlook from the situation. As always, in crisis, there's always opportunities. And that's great for many, but for us teachers, it's not that all rainbows. And so in this case, the statistics, not to be negative, but the statistics talk about a large number of people losing their jobs worldwide. And this is presented, this was posted by the International Labor Organization. If we narrow down that to my context, from 7.8 million of active or working class, we find 4.7 of this amount in a passive state. Imagine how that situation is. It's almost 50%. So, and as months continue moving forward, people have for somehow, some way, those that are active find ourselves teaching from home. I remember 5 years ago when I was doing an assignment for the master's degree, they asked me to find out how was the situation of remote work in our country. And what I found out, there was little attention to it. There were almost no laws that regulated or promoted this type of work. So basically, we were off guard when the moment came that we needed to transition whatever we were doing to online. And I'm sure that all of you will agree that we're not ready. We never thought that that would happen. We never not even thought that we would be in such a situation that we would be part of a history for the future, that we experiment a global pandemic. And so as we move forward, as I said, this might bring thoughts of uncertainty. Some of us might fall in depression. As I said before, we might find ourselves just going in loops, thinking, okay, I'll just keep up. Maybe tomorrow these things will end. And we just happen to fall into this learn helplessness. Some others might be more proactive. Remember this story about the elephant? And so we might think that there's no other way. Some might think maybe changing their career or their activities. I know some have already done that. Some are doing deliveries, some are selling. Well, they're trying to become proactive to the circumstances. And some have even quit the career of teaching. Yeah, it gets tough. It is tough. But as I said before, what keeps us going, it's our reaction towards these difficult times, or call them trying times. And that's where soft skills kick in. It has been demonstrated. I mean, there's plenty of literature, research results that for many years they claim and they try to get others to listen that soft skills really make an impact in how we not only stay employable, but that we stay employable because we become more productive. Production is what everybody looks for. We as a family, organizations, companies, to cities, to countries, to continents. We all look for that. And as we can see, is that hard skills really, they're just an amount that can be pushed that can be fusion based on how strong we are with our soft skills. And maybe you know what these soft skills are and what's the difference. You know, hard skills represent the knowledge that we have about what we do, our technical knowledge, while soft skills are a number of other, call them attitudes, abilities that are cultivated throughout life based on different things that I will mention. But to begin with, but to continue, I like to give a definition of what this is. Example, hold on, something is covering my screen so that I can follow. So in this case, soft skills are those abilities that we have in order to resolve daily challenges. It motivates us to keep going, and I'm sure you will agree, because most of you in this community, in this team, in this group, we have talked about these issues on other opportunities, on webinars that others have presented, and we are clear with that on how important this topic is, and these skills are not only for us as teachers, as professionals, but only if we understand them, we can pass them on to our students. And so continuous results, like example, this one that was recently presented in July 2020, it confirms that in education, that soft skills really provide an advantage to students over those that do not practice or develop soft skills. Definitions. Sorry, the screen covers my text. And so these are considered skills that determine the strength of leadership or as a facilitator or mediator. In this case, is a positive attitude, such as example, creativity, problem-solving skills, transferable skills. I like these the way that Donna Price cites it. They're transferable skills. And one skills that we develop within one area, it can be transferred. It can be transferred to other situations in life. It's not like, I don't know if you guys know Chavo del Ocho, when Kiko answered to the professor, oh, I know that addition not with apple, not with naranjas, but with apple, not with oranges, but with apples. And that's the thing. I mean, you learn one thing in one specific area, and you think that that is not transferable to another context, and that is another skill that must be understood. UNICEF also agrees that these skills are very important for children to learn, for adolescents to learn, because that helps you to go through life and taking right decisions or making right decisions in either personal, academic, social, or economic context. And there are many that I decided to narrow them down and put them in a nutshell so that you can see specifically what I'm referring to. You might, I'm sure you have seen these terms in other areas, such as example, resilience, responsibility, empathy, teamwork. These we know that they're intangible skills and they're non-technical. These skills allow you to manage your emotions, referred to by many presenters here in this meeting. Ability to make decisions, problem-solving skills, positive attitudes towards negative or challenging situations. And one that I like is employability skills. If you're able to maintain your job for a long time, that means you have somehow, some way managed to handle a community. In order to make this clear, and with the help of some other resources, I categorize them into personal skills, which is resilience, responsibility, engagement, motivation, inquisitiveness, self-discipline, self-reflection, and confidence. In social skills, empathy, integrability, ability to communicate, ability to receive criticism, very important, especially when we have our supervisor going to our classroom and observe us. Or even now, they just get into the group and they observe you, and then they give you feedback. And it depends on how tuned you are to that feedback or how receptive you are. It depends on how you receive it. Because if you right away, you believe they're going to criticize you, then obviously the session might not end up in what it was supposed to do, which is positive, constructive feedback. Being a team player and interaction ability. In methodical skills, analytical skills, organizational talent, presentation skills, problem-solving skills, stress resistance, and dealing with new media. And one that I remember that was witness, which was presented by Mike Ewan, which is the way that you manage or you control things within the classroom.
Sorry, I remember I was giving a presentation on the 10 characteristics of successful teachers, and I found this witness, and I found this, and I saw this photograph where the teacher had like 4 heads looking north, watching the south, the west, and the east, and he was aware of everything that happened in the classroom, and he had eyes on her neck, and he or she could see everything that happened. And I said, wow, do we have that skill? Well, I don't know we have them, but we need to have them, especially if we're working with children. Do you agree, Tito, or not?
Oh, definitely. Yes, it is important to train ourselves and to work a little bit on developing our peripheral vision. That's what they call it in neuro-linguistic programming. That example, you see one dot straight in front of you, and then by focusing on it, you start like expanding your vision, and then you can kind of see what's going on your sides. And maybe if you turn yourself a little bit, your head a little bit, you might be able to see what's going on behind you. But that also with the time, you just develop that.
The problem, Tito, and maybe our other friends can comment on that, is that working virtually does not allow us to see what is going on. If they are listening to us, if they are sleeping in bed, if they are paying attention to us, if they are following us, because they are gestures, they are facial gestures tell us they are following us, they understand what we are saying. I don't know about my other friends and colleagues here.
Yeah, what do you think, Roxana?
I totally agree with Jaime has said, because it's not that easy to be controlled, right? First, some of our students sometimes maintain the screens, the cameras off. Sometimes you can see only the forehead and they don't show the complete face. So it is quite hard to see. And then we don't know, for example, when they are being tested, either have the notes there in front of the screen, pasted on Post-its, and checking some kind of notes that were given, while they are being assessed. So there are things that are out of our control. We have just only to trust on their integrity and the way they really want to learn the language or not, no? Because by the end, the only one they are going to be neglecting the way they are managing the language depends on themselves, right? I actually have experience with adults, and with kids sometimes it's that amount more playful, right? But with adults, we cannot tell them, okay, don't cheat, don't do that. It's just they're all enough to know that. So this is very important about the soft skills, no? I think integrity, responsibility, and the way they want to participate, because finally, it's not important how much they get in grades, it's how much they learn and use the language by the end, no?
Thank you, Roxanne. Yeah, well, now in the new norm, how to manage, how to handle our class management, as Jaime pointed out. When I refer to peripheral vision, obviously those are for face-to-face class. But nowadays, even now, because there's so many squares, there's many windows that you see there with their students' faces. Yeah, we must pay attention, as Jaime said, and as Roxanne said, we must be ready to confirm through the students' micro gestures whether they're following you, whether there's an impact or reaction as a result of your teaching. And yeah, this is the new normal now. Raj, I'd like to ask you something. Based on what I have covered so far, these names, do they resonate with you?
Well, I think I'm really appreciating that you've put it in personal, interpersonal, and then systems or methodology. I love the three buckets, big buckets of information that you've created. Yeah.
Good.
Because
Yes,
it is
and
internal, interpersonal, and then also the system, how I deal with the environment, how I deal with the system. So they beautifully fit in my paradigm as well.
great. And yes, and so we need to, it is important that as teachers, I think it was mentioned by one of the presenters, the importance of knowing these traits and our emotions, so that by learning from them, learning how we react to them, we start doing something about them to get better results from what we have been getting in the past. And once we learned and we go in depth into them so that we can share them in the classroom, by contributing to the classroom, by applying activities that cultivate these type of attitudes and skills. I would call them, more than developing them, I would call to foster them or to nurture them or cultivate them than anything. Now, I like to focus on critical thinking and resilience. I'm sure that you will agree with me, being these the main areas that our teachers, especially now, that are, I call it in confinement, because we're all at home. Like me, I spend most of my day here in one corner of my house, and at will, of course. That's because I know that it keeps my family safe and sound. And so critical thinking and resilience are two important topics for me to cover during this soft skills presentation. And as we know, the ability to cope and thrive in the face of negative events, challenges, or adversity are called, anyone? Oh, let me see. I have my list of participants here. Belen, what do you think?
Who did you mention? Who did you call?
Belen Sanchez.
Belén. Campanas de Belén.
Yeah.
Belén Sanchez.
He connects to the.
No, Belen Sanchez.
Okay, so
No,
Roxanne, would you like, it's the only images that I see on my screen.
Sorry, my
Yes.
internet.
So his ability to cope and thrive in the face of negative events, challenges, or adversity, you would call that a critical thinking or resilience?
We'll go for resilience.
Resilience, right.
Mhm.
And for critical thinking, of course, it is an ability for us to, or how would you define the, Emily, how would you define critical thinking? Emily Macias?
Okay. Read or my definition.
Your definition, and then we will compare it to what I have.
It's a capacity that person have to thinking about something that they are learning or information that uh, is receiving.
Good. Yes, basically is the way to tackle situations where you will analyze, conceptualize, identify what possible solutions can give a result of solving the problem. And so this is a cyclical process. What other skill or ability could help, could be added to this 2 points? Raj, Emily, Jaime. For a person, for a teacher to handle our present situation.
Empathy.
Empathy, good.
Okay.
Any other?
Optimism.
Optimism, yes. Well, I would say optimism, it's within resilience. Would you agree with me?
Ability to bounce back when something difficult happens.
Yes. And so, but how do we take this to the classroom? In my case, I will give you an example. We will participate in a couple of activities in order to work in these soft skills. And so let's have some fun. Let's see. The first activity is, it's called Warship and Lighthouse. What we're going to do is we're going to listen to the audio, to the story, and then we will connect this story with our present situation. That is teachers working remote work, having to do remote work, and how circumstances are on our faces, and what we should do about it, how we should handle it. Okay, so we're going to listen to the story. We will connect it to our present situation. Then we will break up in groups. In this case, we can break up in groups of 3.
Remember, Tito, to leave 2 or 3 people so people in Facebook Live can see what's going on. Because
Yeah, I
if you
remember.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and listen. Obviously, while we as teachers, we don't need to engage you into the topic, considering that your mind unconsciously, you automatically activates your prior knowledge by seeing, I see a warship here, and okay, there's a lighthouse over there at the end. And Tito is saying that we will listen to a story and we will connect that to our present situation. So let's go ahead.
Principles. It was a dark and stormy night. Captain! Captain! Captain, wake up! What is it? Sorry to awaken you, sir, but we have a serious problem. And we've tried to solve it and can't. What's the problem? There's a ship in our sea lane about 20 miles away that refuses to move. Well, what do you mean they refuse? Just tell them to move. We have, sir. That's the problem. They won't respond. I'll tell them. The signal goes out. Move starboard 20 degrees. The signal comes back. Move starboard 20 degrees yourself. What arrogance. Who is this guy? He doesn't know who I am. Let him know a captain is giving the command. The signal goes out. This is Captain Horatio Hornblower, the 16th. Move starboard 20 degrees at once. The signal comes back. This is Seaman Carl Jones, the 3rd. Move starboard 20 degrees at once yourself. This is a command. A seaman commanding me, a captain. I can't believe this. What is going on? Let them know who I am. We're a battleship. We could just blow them out. The signal goes out. This is the mighty Missouri, flagship of the 7th Fleet. Signal returns. This is the lighthouse.
Was the audio clear?
Very clear.
Very clear. So considering that we are a small group, I think we can have a chat and let's find symbolism to the different elements of the story. So we find ourselves with a big warship and a lighthouse. What's your understanding of this? Let's see. Ruben, please.
All right. I see an obstacle here because they see another ship in 20 miles away, but the ship, the captain of that ship doesn't want to move. Mm-hmm. And the captain of this one talks to the officer that is talking to him. I said that first he has to move to give a command someone else to move. So what I see is the things that, well, I can compare the things, right? So sometimes we want others to do something, but first we have to do the things.
Very good. Thank you, Ruben, for your participation. Marlene.
Yes.
Marlene, what is your interpretation of this story if we connect it to our present situation of COVID-19, we teachers, and the external impact that is taking place?
I think it would be nice if you could play it one more time, because I could listen to most of it, but there were some cracks. But from what I could, let's say, from what I could hear, I think it's the lighthouse represents, I mean, sort of a goal for us. I mean, or it's the, let's say, we want to reach that lighthouse as a way to feel safer, right? That's, I mean, what I can see mainly from the picture, but I wasn't so sure. I mean, this is, or I'm not so sure if this is what it really means, or it's more, it's based on personal interpretation. But if you could, I mean, somebody asked if you could play one more time. And I
sure. Yes, I'm reading the chat right now. I was thinking of the opportunity.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think it was the internet was not, I mean, 100% clear, so that would be really, I mean, better.
Your audio is off.
Principles. It was a dark and stormy night. Captain, wake up. What is it? Sorry to awaken you, sir, but we have a serious problem. And we've tried to solve it and can't. What's the problem? There's a ship in our sea lane about 20 miles away that refuses to move. Well, what do you mean they refuse? Just tell them to move. We have, sir. That's the problem. They won't respond. I'll tell them. The signal goes out. Move starboard 20 degrees. The signal comes back. Move starboard 20 degrees yourself. What arrogance. Who is this guy? He doesn't know who I am. Let him know a captain is giving the command. The signal goes out. This is Captain Horatio Hornblower, the 16th. Move starboard 20 degrees at once. The signal comes back. This is Seaman Carl Jones, the 3rd. Move starboard 20 degrees at once yourself. This is a command. A seaman commanding me, a captain. I can't believe this. What is going on? Let them know who I am. We're a battleship. We could just blow them out. The signal goes out. This is the mighty Missouri, flagship of the 7th Fleet. Signal returns. This is the lighthouse.
Okay. So in this case, our ship represents us in some circumstances where we believe that we can just wait for things to calm down and everything go back to normal, and we're not being proactive. And we keep on thinking that by moving forward that way, we will have a better tomorrow. The lighthouse is that particular principle. If you continue doing the same thing, it's going to be hard to get different results. So if we believe that once these pandemic lockdown or restrictions go out or are off, that we can continue the way we are. What I mean is we need to prepare ourselves. We need to, like Christine Com said, we need to equip ourselves with the right tools so that when we go back out to the new normal, we are prepared for the new challenges. If we continue thinking like the arrogance of this captain, thinking, no, you move out of the way because I'm coming. No, the lighthouse says, so yourself, you're just going to go against the wall. So we need to continue being proactive to what's coming. We need to prepare ourselves. And so by thinking, by working through this story, we start analyzing the situations and perhaps how we are facing the present time, which again works on our softer skills. How can we transfer these type of activities into the classroom? What type of stories can we play the students? Like in this case, you have to listen. If you need a little help, what I did was to, in the chat box, I placed the script of the story. Oh, by the way, I need to cite the source. This is from Stephen Covey, the doctor that 7 Habits of Successful People. That's where this story comes from. So how can we connect these to our classrooms, Emily, or is this possible, Ruben?
Yes, of course. We can have a very interesting activity. For example, the first thing to make them remember about this audio is to say things and play true or false. Yes, the first, so they can remember what they have heard and then connect with other activities and also role play.
The situation.
Yeah.
Good. As you can see, this goes beyond this just analyzing a situation and connecting that to our context, but also you get the opportunity to interact one another. Perhaps if there's the need for new vocabulary or new terms, that can students practice previous to engaging into a discussion while they analyze the story and at the same time developing soft skills. right? Their ability to analyze, perhaps in this case, to connect one topic with the other. Thank you. Let's move forward. Let me see, people are talking in the chat.
Yeah, Isabel Vargas wants to participate, Tito.
Great. Okay.
Isabel Vargas.
Good morning, everybody. Talking about critical thinking, I think maybe for your students, you can ask them, if you were the captain, what would be your reaction? How could you think would be the best reaction in this case, for this situation? I mean, to develop critical thinking. Maybe you can ask them first to work in groups, like a debate in groups, and then giving them a time, and then also in a group work, as a whole, give, maybe one leader from each group can give the best for them, what could be the best solution for this problem.
Great. I like the part of impersonating and being on the captain's shoes. How can I improve my reaction towards the situation? I like that. That really gets students into thinking how they feel and what would be the best emotions that should be triggered at that particular moment. I like that. Thank you. Thanks for your participation.
You're welcome.
Okay, we here I have another activity in which we work based in cases. These are sent by teachers, and sometimes I get them or when they write on essays, and I ask them that I may use them in some other cases. Now, this is a story of Maria. In this case, we're going to read the story. We break up in teams, but in this case, we're having an open discussion. Each group must now find creative ways to create a route for Maria to alleviate her situation and see better tomorrow. Emily, can you go ahead and read for me, please, Maria's case?
Maria's case. Maria is a 49 years old English teacher and a single mother of 3, living in a suburban area of a big city. 25 years ago, after graduating from a local university, she signed a contract with a local school, where she developed her experience as a grade teacher. When COVID-19 hit her neighborhood, she had no idea how to handle herself working online. No more than using WhatsApp, writing emails, creating worksheets or quizzes. Before her first remote class, she received a quick induction and that was it. 2 months after, she found herself on her kitchen table, writing a resignation letter. She claims, on a daily basis, I get connection problems, and when I do connect, I struggle to engage students. I don't detect any positive result in them. My kids, my work, the house, I don't know what I will do. I just can't take it anymore.
Anyone resonates with that? Thank you, thank you.
You're right.
So in this case, Roxanne, help me here, please. By reading Maria's cases, how can we help her get out of this route? You know, she has fallen into the route and she just can't get out of it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see some different ideas here. And first, probably, first I want to ask, you want me to say what could I tell her or what would I have done if I were Maria?
Those two are excellent. If you want to place yourself in her shoes and then come out of that like a phoenix, great.
Yes. Okay. Let me play if I were Maria. First, I will have to think that I have a family responsibility because I'm a mother of 3. So I have to face the situation and to see that this is my new normal. So I would have looked for probably YouTube videos in which it would have helped me to give me some idea how to work with these new tools. Probably I will have tried to talk to my community and ask for help and tell them what was my situation and see what they can do for me and try to adapt to the situation, talk to my students and said, okay, this is what we have now. Don't worry, because this is going to be temporary, but it's a way to continue because we need to continue having classes. We need to continue learning. So I will try to first think on the foot, try to motivate myself and said, okay, that's what I have. So what can I do with this situation? Take the best from this for these problems and try to get them not as problem itself, but as a challenge. No, I said, okay, that's what I have. So what can I do? If I cannot do it as much as I would like it, to say, okay, give me myself time also of learning. Okay, to try to be a little bit more flexible with myself and said, okay, this is what I can do this week. I will try to learn a little bit more for the next one and continue giving like a process because everything changes, everything needs adaptability, you know, and this is part of the process. So I will do that. Now, if I were Maria's friend, I would have tried to help, okay, because people said, no, when there is a problem and the problem is divided in a group of people, it's like the problem is less as before. And then sometimes when you see that this problem is not happening only to me, but to many people, and we are part of this situation, it like I said, okay, it's not that bad. So we can clinch the situation and say, okay, so what about you? What about Emily? What about Jaime? What about, I don't know, we have here Pilar, and said, okay, tell me, and brainstorming, we can exchange problems and then facilitate the vision of what we can do facing this situation. Thank you, Tito, for this opportunity because this is something that we have been struggling. Many of us at the beginning, especially for example, in my case, I'm not too much into technology, but I knew that it was the way they had in face of me. And this is something that has happened to me very, very frequently.
Some people, thank you, Roxy. Sorry, Tito. Some people in Facebook Live are asking you to share the link of the listening of the worship. If you could post it in the chat so I can repost it in Facebook Live.
Stefan Kovic is on YouTube. The thing is that using all my knowledge acquired during this pandemic, I learned how to download videos and to convert them into audios, and then from audios to convert them into a shorter version of the audio.
Okay, don't worry. Could you write the name? Could you write the name
Sure.
in the chat so I can look for it and help this
Thank you.
His name is Jason Duban Gomez Castillo. Thank you, Jason, for your interest.
May I comment something on Maria's case?
Please, Irma.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay, hi. I think, yes, we can identify with the same situation that Maria is going through, especially like Roxana, the ones that we are not experts with technology. But probably the first thing that what Maria needs is to be listened to. She's ready to present a resignation letter. She's desperate.
Irma, sorry for interrupting you. Irma, can you go ahead and play the role that you're talking to Maria, please?
Okay.
Maria,
all right.
I know
yeah,
the situation. Please, thanks.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Because, you know, let's imagine that Maria, after writing the resignation letter, she called me on the phone. So I will say, Maria, I understand. Let me know. Tell me, how do you feel? Tell me, what have you done? Tell me, what are your connection problems? Because that's something that I'm having exactly the same thing. When I try to connect with my students, I have 25 students, and then the internet connection doesn't help. But what I have learned, and I'm giving you as an example, is I created my own schedule. So even though I have 25, I only work with 5 students at a certain time on a Monday, and then in the next schedule, the same Monday, I work with another 5, and then I just spread them all over the day. I know it's a lot of work, Maria. We are under stress, but we have to create a tool because you have 3 mouths to feed. You need to put bread on the table. So resigning right now is not going to help you. It's going to increase the problems and, such things like that. Because this is me outside the role. One of the things that Maria strongly needs is to be listened to. After she cries out, after she expresses everything, you need to put bread on. After she explains all the frustration, not gonna help you.
Thank you, Irma. Are you still there?
She went with Maria.
She went with Maria. Raj, I would like to hear from you. In this case, how can we get Maria out of the room?
Well, I think Irma and I think somebody else was speaking. It's important that we start with the role of empathy, empathizing with the person and make the empathic connection before providing direction.
With Maria.
Yeah, with Maria.
Raj, I would like.
Yeah. Were you able to hear me? Like empathy before education and connection before direction. Because if I don't really fully give Maria a sense I understand the world you are experiencing right now and go straight to strategy, then it's not going to be as helpful.
Right, true. Report before instruction.
Yeah.
You need to build rapport. It's like they say, would I learn from you if I don't first connect with you, or we learn best when we trust the person and things like that. Ruben, what key question?
Just before you go to Ruben, we want to create safety and trust, and I think you mentioned both words.
Yes, that's right. Safety and trust. Now, in order to cultivate students to acknowledge their own feelings in similar situations, what key questions could I make to students while they read this or something like this, a story like this?
The first question I would ask the students is, what would you feel if you were Maria's student?
Very good.
To see if there is some kind of empathy from students to the teacher.
Very good. And as Irma and Raj and Roxanne said, in this case, it's acknowledging and letting them know that it is normal to feel like that. We all get to that point where we just burned out physically and mentally. We don't see beyond a tomorrow, and it is important to. I think it was Monica Rodriguez that said, acknowledge those emotions, feel them, and see how you react, and then within that state, try to see what you can do in order to make it better. And that obviously by going through that process next time you will be in better position to face a similar situation. So I think I'm short of time. There's another one, but I like this one. I have done it with my students for different topics. And this particular topic is very interesting because you all assume the position of a person that can propose different solutions for common problems. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to take the role of a council member and we're going to propose or make a proposal, a proposition on whether we should go back to face-to-face classroom or education or not. So I have the names here of most of the participants here. So I'm gonna go Cynthia. Cynthia, you as a councilman, I am the mayor, and people are requesting a number of people are requesting that we go back to face-to-face classes. What is your position on this issue?
Oh, as a council member, right?
Yes.
Well, personally speaking, I think that at this time it's kind of impossible to return to normal classes. However, the possibility to come back to the normality, it could be then for the next year. So yeah, just to try to support all the schools that are proposing those things, and maybe give some facilities or or just listening to them, just to know what are the reasons that they are just want to come back to the normality. So just to listen to them and try to solve, maybe if it's in my possibilities, try to solve many of them, maybe some issues that they have. Maybe it's about trainings or things like that. So yeah, and then for the next year, yeah, try to have the possibility, or try to look for something that, like, to convey with all of them, to agree with them.
Thank you, Cynthia. Tanya, yes.
May I?
Yes, sir.
I was thinking, and I said to myself, maybe I could do what Winston Churchill did before the before the World War II. He went onto the buses and the trains, and he talked to the common people, and he asked them what they felt and how they felt. So I would ask them if they agree or not with going back to face-to-face classes, and then I would go back to the major and talk to him about the result of my survey.
That's a great, yeah, that's it. It's going out to the streets and talking to the people who make the people is the one that in some way select the people who will lead them to better days. Good. Thank you for your answer, Jaime. Now, Council Member Tanya, what is your position about this proposal from the people that one group wishes to go back to face-to-face classrooms or classes and others don't? What is your position? Try to convince me, please. Tanya, still there? Tanya Isabel.
Tanya?
Ruben, what is your position? Tell me about this topic.
Dear Major, let me tell you that changes are not always bad. Changes are good for a reason, because this permitted teachers to get to technology. Technology is a reality, and this pandemic situation forced us to get it into it. And we have to talk about the health. So is it really necessary to put people at risk, to be contagiated of this COVID-19 that is still around, is still there? So why don't we continue? Because we have the results of Jaime's survey, and the common people do want to be safe. And the phrase is, learn safe against COVID-19. Let's go on with remote classes.
Ruben.
Okay, Major, that's it.
Thank you very much. Yes, in conclusion, and based on the popular demand and the votes, yes, I guess we must continue online life while the higher levels of government decide on what is best for us. Now, thank you. Through this activity, we expect our students to engage into an internal process in which they see a problem, they find different points to argue about or to defend, and then talk about in front of public, and also give a conclusion which pushes them into a process of problem solving activity.
Sorry, Tito. Isabel Vargas is asking for permission to give her opinion. Isabel, go on, please.
Yes, go ahead, Isabel.
Thank you, Jaime. Well, I think that also it's good to think about students' problems, students' real situation, but it's also very important to think about teacher situation, okay? This is, for example, a situation also happens to me. I'm not very good at technology. So I think that, well, in my case, I asked my good friends, my colleagues, okay, that we can have a meeting and we can practice, for example, Zoom, no? One of them is the host and the other is the student, no? And we exchange roles in order to practice. So I think as a teacher, we can help each other, because not maybe for some people that they are trained, they are more prepared using technology, but also we have to be aware that other teachers, we have developed that ability. Okay, or maybe we didn't have time to practice. Okay, maybe excuse, I don't know. But I think we can, in that way, also let's to create as we can create like a community. Huh? So here we are the teachers. We can support each other. I mean, facing this problem, and also in that way, also we can teach also our students, huh? That that when we have a problem, we need people to support us. That's my my thought.
Definitely, and that's one of the reasons why we meet here every Sunday, so that in a way we contribute to each other's knowledge and skills based on what we provide. Now, with regard to adapting to change in these new fields, I like to quote something what Mr. Dennis said about this issue in his presentation in this meeting, in a similar meeting. I don't remember what number that was, but he said that in the process, when we're required to change, it is important that if we are flexible and always adapt to the new challenges, you will always do a good job and be fine. We become productive. If you just focus on complaining and seeing the buts, you will end up hurting yourself. And when he says about hurting yourself, it doesn't mean physically, but well, that would be one result of many others ways of hurting yourself. On the 23rd International Meeting, Christine Kump said, everyone is looking for a way to be more productive on the job and in life. Especially organizations, if you're well prepared, if you're equipped with the right skills, hard skills and soft skills, companies will be willing to take you in. Monica Rodriguez said, know your emotions. We can do things to regulate our negative emotions, and there are ways to change these emotions for the better. Christine Kumb also presented what successful people usually do or have. She said that they have a dream, they have a plan, they have a specific knowledge or training. They are willing to work hard. They do not take no for an answer. And that doesn't mean just saying yes to everything, but rather not giving up on the things that you know that are good for yourself. There's always excuses and reasons to drop whatever good thing that you decide to do. And that's what it means. Take no for an answer. If you fail, get up and keep going. And that they are self-reliant. I decided to give you some takeaways that based on a brainstorm that I did with some teachers, I decided to share them with you. And as Christian Kump said in one of these meetings, said, equip yourself with the right tools. I would say, learn about computers and common software and applications. Learn about connectivity. Yes, I mean, if you don't have Wi-Fi, there must be some, probably the Wi-Fi, it's off, the device. Or probably it's just that you need to just turn it on. Probably it's in airplane status. Sorry, I didn't see you, Jaime. You're showing the little, you're showing my time, right? Let's carry on. Learn about LMS. That's important. That's learning management system, platforms, and other ways to work online to keep track of your students learning and upload information. Online resources, know about them. But just because you have a lot of them doesn't mean you doing a great job. It's selecting the right activity for the right objective. And remember, just because you have many during a lesson, it doesn't mean that is that you will that will yield the correct results or the results that you expect. These activities, in order to be applied, they do require time. And so sometimes time, if you add it up in days, weeks, months, and years, they can affect students' progress. So make sure you use them accordingly and effectively. Improve your language proficiency. Nowadays, believe me that once this pandemic is over, if you carry all the credentials, you will be the first one to be placed in these organizations. Be part and contribute in a professional communities like here we do. We share knowledge, we share tips. I mean, so many things, not only here, but also in the group, in the WhatsApp group. Work on editing basic on images, paint, Photoshops. It is good. It is good to know. So whenever you design your pages, your quizzes, you can have a nice layout. Learn to create online courses if possible. Take advantage of MOOCs. I almost never spend money on training. I go for what is free, and once I do it, whether it took me 3 months to complete it, if it's good, then I go and look for a paid one because I go straight and I'm able to, I won't struggle. So basically knowledge is what matters, not exactly certificates and stuff like that. As long as you can demonstrate that you can yield good results. Read research at least once a week. Read one research result based on the area that you like. And it's possible to start carrying out your own. Develop a growth mindset attitude towards life and challenges. Growth mindset theory or approach engages many of the soft skills points that I have mentioned here. Learn about you and your emotions. Select the right employers if you're about to find a job, those that really foster human development. Learn to relax. That's very important. You have to know when it's time to get off of your desk and go and spend some quality time with your family. And provide time for you. If it's necessary, if you need to take a moment like I do, a glass of wine and a nice movie or a nice reading. with, or perhaps some background instrumental music. Those little things or simple things really, I feel like I am being rewarded, or like I'm rewarding myself. It depends. To you, might be go play football or might go with your friends. So, but yes, give yourself time. Share what you know. It makes you feel good in the heart. Identify the best time of the day to work. Again, sleep, relax. Remember that during your sleep, there's many processes that take place in your mind that help you heal your body and your mind. Improve every class. For example, as somebody said here, camera off versus on during a class. So improve your class every time by doing this little research. Create protocols for online teaching and learning. And of course, never forget to pray. Never forget to pray. Thank you. And I'm going to leave you with this quote from T.S. Eliot. Please, Ruben, considering that you're right there, please, can you help me by reading this?
All right. We shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we began to know the place for the first time.
Thank you. Thank you for your participation. For me, this has been a great session and of sharing and getting to interact directly with you. Jaime, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tito Hidalgo, for presenting this very interesting topic, because you made us think, you made us reflect, you made us, as I'm doing now, hesitate and not knowing what to say, because that is the point of critical thinking, that we need to think deeply and not think about memory answers, but as people in the Facebook say, put on the shoes of the other person. So we have still 8 minutes for some comments of people present here in this Zoom. So maybe Cynthia, Isabel Vargas, Raj, Marlene, Belén, Tania, Neri, Lopez, Pilar. Anybody wants to say something to our guest speaker this morning?
See, even these quotes get you into thinking, into going inside and trying to make meaning out of the text. And that's the idea, so that we find ourselves in a continuous process of how can I be better than I was an hour before, or maybe than I was yesterday. And so that's why I always like this quote: we shall not cease from exploration. And the end of all our exploration will be to arrive where we began and to know the place for the first time.
Okay, anybody please, before we go and start cooking and doing the washing up and doing the dishes?
I'm grateful, Tito, that I joined you and community for this session. It really talks about, you spoke so much about looking at things with a fresh pair of eyes, with an open heart, being curious, and putting ourselves in the other person's place and imagining what they're looking at, what they're experiencing.
Thank you, Raj.
Tito, I want to thank for all the sharing that you have with us today, but especially for the takeaways, because in the takeaways we have talking about the hard and soft skills. And I want to focus more on the part you said, the inner, and the importance of knowing ourselves. As long as we feel pleased and satisfied with what we are doing, the willing of learning is increased. And we cannot give what we don't have. So it is very important us. We give what we are. We give what we have. And this we can be spread into our students and our colleagues or friends. And this part is very, very important in the sense that the given the time of for us, my time, my place, my area, my comfort, then I feel really, really relaxed and pleased with this. I can give and spread this to everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. And I really, really appreciate this ending.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roxy. Anybody else, please?
Well,
Yeah.
Tito, thank you once again. I just can say that we are lifelong learners and the changes are part of our learning. So we have to pursue to get the best out of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a question for you, Ruben. Have you read
Yes.
all the books you have at the back of you?
Yes, the titles.
I knew it. I knew it.
Great answer, Ruben. Great answer.
Ruben 1, Jaime 0. Thank you.
Jaime, those books are about recipes of cooking.
I know. Mine's are about doing the dishes.
Yeah, I need lots of soft skills for cooking. No?
You said we got to start getting the apron ready.
Well, anybody else? No one else?
Thank you for all your
Thank you,
participation.
Isabel Vargas.
Sure, Isabel, go ahead.
I guess this is the first time you are with us, Isabel, or the second?
No, I think it's the 4th or the 5th.
But
I usually turn off my video.
Yeah, but thank you for turning on your video.
Okay.
Okay, so once again, thank you, Tito Rafael Hidalgo from Ecuador. Thank you, Emily in Mexico, Roxy in Lima, Pilar in Piura, Marlene in Lima. Cynthia, you are in Lima too, right?
Yeah.
Are you from Lima, Cynthia?
Yeah. I'm from Lima.
Javes, where is your last name from? Javes.
I don't know. Well, they are from Trujillo. Well, my father is from Trujillo, but I think that...
I told you, I don't know if you remember, but why all the very, very good professors, English teachers from Peru, come from Trujillo?
That's good to know.
Oh, it's not fair.
Sorry. And the best ones from Piura. Sorry.
Oh, it's not fair.
And Ruben in Lima, Raj in Canada, Belen Sanchez, I don't know where. Tanya, I guess, is in Lima, and Mary Lopez in Piura. So see you next Sunday. We will have our good friend Monica, Rosas from Mexico, and then Glenda in December, and then I don't remember my Argentinian friend, and then the panel discussion about teaching in Peru. Thank you, everyone. Tito, have a good day, and see you next Sunday.
God bless
I think
you.
Isabel wanted to...
Sorry, Cynthia.
I think Isabel wanted to say something.
Sorry, Isabel Vargas. Sorry. Excuse me.
No, don't worry. Well, thank you, Tito. I think this topic was very important for all of us. Okay, and I think only that we can, with this pandemic, this coronavirus, we can have the opportunity to take this problem like a challenge for all of us, not only students, also parents, and of course teachers, all of us. And we have to give the best of us, okay? And I think this is the time we can show how do we feel, okay? How can we react facing an important, healthy problem?
Yeah.
Thank you for all the things that you have done, that you have said. It was very important for me.
Thank you, sir. Yes, we got to hold on
and your comment, Isabel, reminds me of something that Raj was talking to Esther. Remember the kidnapping? Remember, Raj, this topic of kidnapping your something from that gives you fear or and allows you to do something correctly. You don't remember, Raj? Something that you and Esther and me were talking last Sunday.
Trying to remember what that was.
You don't remember?
I'm trying to remember.
Well, talking about sickness, mental problems, Ruben, Jaime. It was something
All of us,
about
all of
that.
us.
I know,
Okay.
I know
of
one
us.
thing about emotions is when the emotion is strong, we need to take a long pause, you know.
Yes. Okay, we will have something about that in January or February. Okay, if God willing, we will do that. So now, bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye. Time to
Bye.
cook for me.
Bye-bye. Yes.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Thank you. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Tito.
Bye.
Bye.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
Everybody, have a nice week.
Nice
Bye.
weekend.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, Sam. Okay.
See you.